guys? Welcome back to Man Cave Collectibles, coming at you today with another video review of a statue. This time we've got the Batman Black and White by Todd McFarlane from the DC Direct Batman Black and White line. So this is DC Direct, who we now know has pretty much closed its doors, so we will not be seeing any further offerings from DC Direct. This was the 100th statue in their Batman Black and White statue line. I'm not sure if 101 or 102 actually made it out into the wild or not. All of that, transpired kind of around the time that this one was scheduled to kind of come out. But I know they had some things still in production, so I'm not sure if many more will come out after this or any more. This may be the last one. I'm not sure. If you know, drop it in the comments down below. Very sad to see DC Direct go. They've been a part of our collecting world for a long time, and they really provided us with some really good products. But so this will probably be one of the final things for sure that I'll be reviewing from a DC Direct standpoint, at least from a current offering. I do have some items that kind of date back into the earlier days of DC Direct that I would like to get to, kind of do some retro reviews on some things. But we're here today to look at the Todd McFarlane Batman statue by DC Direct. So if you've been a part of my channel for a while, I had a fairly large Batman Black and White collection. I did end up selling off that collection when DC Direct kind of went under. However, there were two statues that I really wanted to retain for my collection. Number one was the Bane statue, which we'll take a look at here shortly. We'll bring him out and show a comparison here size-wise with the Batman statue. But then there was this Todd McFarlane statue, which at that time had not been released. So he is out now, we've got him, so we're going to have two Batman Black and White statues in my collection going forward, and I'll plan to retain these and hold on to them for a long time, maybe forever. But here we go. We got a product image right here on the front of this packaging. Got DC Direct logoing up here in the top as well as in the bottom. Todd McFarlane Batman Black and White there. As we spin on around, we have some additional product imaging there, and then to the back, additional product imaging talks a little bit about this version. So this is based on Batman number 423, that iconic cover that Todd McFarlane illustrated for us. I'll throw up a image here beside it. And then we've got a few other offerings from this. Now this armored Batman is one of the ones that I wasn't sure if it was ever going to make it out or not. I had it pre-ordered at one time, so I don't know if it's still coming. Again, if anybody knows, drop that in the comments. I'd like to know if that's going to make it out, or any further statues from this line will be coming out. Spinning on around, additional product imaging just tells us here this is based on artwork of Todd McFarlane, sculpted by Jonathan Matthews, approximately 10.2 inches in height. It does tell us there. Let's go ahead and break this guy out of his packaging and take a look at what we got. All right, guys, so we've got our Batman Black and White statue out and on a review table, and it really does look phenomenal. Just really impressed by this, and even saddens me more that DC Direct is no longer going to be part of the collecting world, because they did do some really good things in our community. But taking a look at the statue here, just phenomenal sculpt work here as we look at the cape and the way it's just kind of flared out, and just really takes you back to that cover Todd McFarlane did. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw up another image here just to give you a side-by-side so you can really do a true comparison of kind of how well they sculpted this, for us collectors to be able to put out there in our collections. As we spin on around here, we can see got that iconic Batman logo. Now I will say the logo is a slight bit messy. It's not really a perfect oval. It kind of gets a little messy down here, kind of close to, let's see if I can bring it in some. You can kind of see where it gets a little messy there, kind of under his chest muscle there. But not too bad. It's not really anything you're going to notice. They've got some real nice kind of gray touches and gray accents here in the cape just to kind of give it some life. And you can see here kind of the underside of the cape is done in that kind of light gray color. But I mean, just look at all the sculpt detail, here in the cape, the way it's flowing around Batman. This one really, you know, more so than most, this one really just overtakes the base. You know, you can barely even tell there's a base down there underneath Batman, and there is. It's there. It's your typical base, just like we would typically see on any of the Batman black and white statues. For an example, this right here is kind of what those bases typically look like. Now this is the Bane base. You can see where a little bit of paint rub here comes off. Bane was one of the ones here where he actually had pegs that he would stand on. So with Batman, he's actually molded or built into, the sculpt is built into the base. So you don't have to worry about the base and him coming loose. I prefer that. That's kind of something that seemed like the newer statues they've done, they kind of started going that path. And I think it's just more secure. There's probably less chance of breakage. Some of the statues that I had, the Harley Quinn in particular, it was kind of hard to get their pegs into the peg hole of the base. And then once you got them in, it was very tough to get them out. And you felt like you were going to break the statue trying to separate the base from the character. So I much prefer the way they did it here. Let's see if we can get the face sculpt there. Yeah, we can kind of get that in there. The face sculpt looks really good. You can see there's a little bit of kind of messiness right here on his chest. It's a little bit covered up, but you can see in there that face sculpt is really nice. Kind of hard here to get it all on camera. These aren't articulated. I'm used to action figures where I can kind of bend and pose them to get them on camera in the fashion that I need them. But yeah, he just looks really, really good, guys. He is a larger figure than I'm used to in the Batman black and white line. We're about to see that here with the Bane statue going side by side. The Bane statue was one of the bigger statues of all the Batman black and white line, but we're going to see here, this one I think is really a good bit bigger than Bane is. Just as far as this overall mass due to the cape, this massive cape that they've done, and just so many intricate details in the cape. They really, if this was their going out statue, they did it well, because this really may be the best statue that I've seen in the line so far. Let's go ahead and we'll bring out our Bane statue and do a little bit of size comparison and wrap up our video. All right, guys, so here we got our Bane statue out, and you can see just the size of this Batman black and white statue as comparison to Bane. Now, Bane is crouched over. You know, you can see here that he's very crouched, you know, kind of in an attack pose. So he would be bigger if he was standing up. You know, he's got his arms kind of up above his head there, which gives him some additional height. But you know, just the overall mass of this statue with this cape the way it is just phenomenal. And I think it's going to add to the shelf presence. That was probably one of my issues with the Batman black and white line, was the shelf presence of a lot of the statues that I had it just wasn't a lot. They're black and white, so they don't stand out a ton on a shelf. And most of them were not dynamic like this. You know, this is something you're not going to walk past this without kind of taking a second look at it. And I kind of felt Bane was the same way. That was one of the things that kind of drew me to the Bane statue, and I retained him really to pose with this one in particular. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. I know this line will not be continuing, but let me know what you think of the Batman black and white statue line. Is this something you collect? Do any of you guys have all of them? Really, I thought overall the line was impressive. It just wasn't, for me, I don't think, from a statue collector standpoint, to go all out on the line. And I had so many, ended up opting to sell off all of them except, you know, what you see here. So yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts on these. Hit that like button if you guys enjoyed this review video. If you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing. Check me out on Instagram, Man Cave Collectible Reviews. Post up just some cool pictures when I'm out toy hunting, or pictures of my collection, different things. And love to kind of build and form that community that we've already started here on YouTube. I hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas. Until next time.